Are you a happy man this week, Hamish?
He's the king of the castle, that's what I was saying at the start.
Look at him. He's
Hamish,
even manicured his beard for us on the show
Hamish
tonight,
is a new man.
Look at him. He's got the jacket on indoors. He's got his manicured beard.
I'm very tired because Super Bowl was last.
Did you stay up and watch?
I stayed up. I didn't watch it all. I got to the third.
Yeah, there wasn't really much point in watching all of it, was there?
No, after the third quarter, it was just like, oh, this is done. I'm going home, and yeah. I was very tired though because I still got back home. It was 3 a.m. and I started to get up at 7 to take Freya to school, and busy day trying to build
busy.
Doing a terrible job doing the wardrobe, and then just fun, lots of basically the win. Everyone, yes, I did well at the Road to Nationals. We'll bring that up a bit later, and then reality the next day booted in. Back to
real life.
As Trip pointed out to me before we hit the podcast, the meme, what was it, Trip?
Well, the guy standing in the corner saying nobody knows that I won a Road to National.
Oh yeah.
But we flipped it to be that meme, but also the crowd saying we do know that, we just don't care. We care here on Push the Point. We're very proud of our boy.
Yeah.
Of all the people, we're probably the only two that actually do really I'm really proud of. Not just
that. Oh, there's one at home. You've got one at home.
Yeah. And James White gave me a comment back.
And James White, of course.
Thank you, James White. That certainly boosted my ego.
This is the power of hobbies and community. Is that there's always going to be a group of people who will share in these moments of success and victory. And I think we were both super.
Oh, absolutely
super excited. I think we'll talk about it a bit later, but I think it was just it's like a perfect journey, really, when you think of your Flesh and Blood career with Viceroy.
Yeah,
I think it's a real cool journey. But we'll get onto that later as a little teaser.
Yeah. All right, let's do some beers.
Yeah.
Nice and quick. Hamish, what are you drinking?
All right, Simon. Oh, I've already cracked it open because I'm crazy. I've got a Northern Monk. Tank Petrol.
Oh, that looks amazing.
It is a Christmas beer. I've forgotten who's got me what. So thank you, either Ferg or Faye's mum, Gail, that gave me the beer, or it could be my mum. I don't know. But thank you, everyone.
It's a Christmas beer.
That sounds great. I'm not sure if you'll like it. Is it a dark beer, Hamish?
I don't know.
What does it say?
It's called Petrol.
Oh no, it looks like petrol.
Oh, interesting.
It's a
pale hazy dark beer. Shows that I don't drive a car, does it? I don't actually know what petrol looks like. So.
To be honest, I have to say I don't know really what petrol looks like either. I don't tend to pour it on the floor.
At it. Get a good look.
Yeah.
Get it in your hands.
Yeah.
Get a little taste. Yeah, that's good petrol.
Yeah, that's my car's going to go far with this one. Right, Simon, what are you drinking?
I'm on call for work, so I got Heineken 0%.
Yay!
Is it any good, that one, Simon? 0%?
I will let you know.
It's good.
As long as it's ice cold, I think they tend to be all right. Those 0%.
It is cold. I mean, it's been in the freezer for half an hour. That's the best I can do.
Okay. Well, it's going to be mid at best, I reckon.
It's mid.
Yeah. What about you?
As the young kids say, Hamish, it's mid.
It is mid.
Oh, it's mid, mate. That's so mid. I think Simon's going to be sad because I think I have one of his favourite beers myself, which is the Kona Big Wave.
Yeah. Love it. Golden ale. It's beautiful.
All right.
They now sell it in Marks and Spencer's. So, over in M&S.
All that.
Shall we
you know what? That Heineken 0% isn't actually bad for Heineken.
No. Oh.
If you like Heineken.
I've just took a sip of this.
Can I just quickly mention a beer that I had, a local beer that I had yesterday, Saturday night, an 8.4% coffee stout by the brewery Black Iris in Nottingham, and it was delicious. It was coffee stout, and it did not taste like 8.4%. I would highly recommend it, Trip, if you can find it.
Next time I'm in Nottingham, I'll have that. That sounds grand. This is very tasty. This Coke.
Yeah, very tasty.
Yeah,
big waves.
Should we do a wheel?
Yeah, I've done the wheel.
A whole wheel of cheese.
pre-wheeled, and while Hamish was doing the intro, I was wheeling away.
Yeah.
And I have a wheel winner. So I had some claps. I didn't know we still did that.
Okay, well, but what is the wheel trick?
Oh, I almost clicked on the number 6. What is the wheel? It's a wheel of names. Anyone who's a Push Point patron gets entered into this wheel of names, and if your name comes up, you win 6 packs of Flesh and Blood. Are we still on Rosetta? I think
no. This will be the first. This will be the first of the Hunted. Yeah,
we have got some Hunted to give away. So very, very hard to find set. Difficult to get hold of.
It's sold out.
Wow.
And lots of very expensive Majestics, so you can get a real return on your £3 a month investment. But the this episode's winner is Craig Johnston, everybody. So congratulations, Craig.
Well done, Craig.
So Craig, 6 packs of the Hunted will be heading your way.
To you.
Fingers crossed.
So that's exciting.
Is it? Sorry, Trip. I need to make sure. Is it Craig Johnston or Craig Johnson?
We'll work this out after the podcast, Simon.
Because we have one of each.
It's Johnston. So
okay, perfect. That's lovely.
ST. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we do. That's interesting.
Yeah, I know. I figured that out when I did the Christmas cards. I was like,
yeah.
Well, I hope I get this.
It is Johnston. I was worried I'd pronounced it wrong.
Well done.
I realised
no. I was asking a genuine question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's.
Oh, congratulations, Craig! You get 6 packs of the Hunted.
And commiserations, Craig.
Yeah.
But that's the way, and all the other patrons who didn't win this particular time.
Hamish, would you like to tell us about any of our other partners of the podcast?
Yeah, let's do the partners run. So we have got 3 awesome partners. We've got Thistle Tavern, a Scottish shingle seller from Aberdeen. They basically provide a lot of singles for lots of different TCGs in the space. If you're a Push the Point patron, you get 10% off on your single orders online. They have got a store over in Aberdeen. So if you're in that area, go check it out. They're really awesome. I've also saw them on TV, on Scottish News. So there you go.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
they're famous.
They are famous. They're
Scottish News famous.
as seen on TV. So yeah, check them out. And if you're a patron, again, 10% discount, which is awesome. We also got Metal Fab Tokens, which is an awesome token seller from America. We do have some Metal Fab Tokens here in the UK, which I help distribute out so you can get it for Royal Mail prices. So Metal Fab Tokens basically does lots of different tokens for lots of different TCG games. And we have PCG, a grading company started up over in New Zealand, which we do have a UK office, which is awesome, which basically you get the new Fab 2.0 grades, and if you're a patron, you get your pledge to us in the form of a voucher, which maxes up to £15 every quarter. So loads of deals to be a patron. Thank you so much for our partners, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. We appreciate all of your support, and I hope you enjoy the benefits you get for being a patron of Push the Point, or if you just listen along, thank you for supporting and listening to the podcast. So we have a lot to talk about today. We're gonna we might just sort of skim over home news, because I guess
I've got one thing.
GG, you said you had like a small thing, didn't you? So maybe we'll just throw that in there.
Yeah.
So people don't feel like they're not getting the home news, because I know a lot of people do like it.
They do like the home news. So basically, I did a double header in London last weekend. Sunday went to see The Lion King. I don't know why I'm going backwards, but Sunday was The Lion King with me, Faye, and my daughter Freya. But on the Saturday we went down to Camden and to see a really cool metal band called Kubla Khan. And when we got there, kind of just to get through to the whole thing, I said to Faye, well, we want to get and watch this one, so we kind of want to go a little bit like near the front. But the band before was a little wild, a lot wilder than I expected. And we were right next to the pit. And then when
Who was it?
It's a band called Gideon, which is really, which I actually, it's one of those, I didn't know I knew them. And then they played a song and went, I know this song.
Oh, yeah.
So when I went, oh, I know this one. I didn't realize it was them. Anyway, they shouted, everybody, I want to see crowd surfing. Oh dear me!
Were you reliving the days? You're 35 now, Hamish.
basically did a workout. It was awful. Anyway, Kubla Khan kicks in. If you've you can see some of the videos on my Twitter as well. They're very, very, very cool. But the crowd surfed obviously kicked in. Oh, the mosh pit was just like, I went and looked at it and went, I'm old, man. I'm not up for punching people's faces anymore. Back in my day, it was all pushy and shovey. This one was just literally Mortal Kombat kicking off. I was like, oh. Anyway, I got a bit fed up at this point about all the crowd surfing. And then I just grabbed one by the shirt and just like threw it. And then I saw a load of ginger hair kind of flying everywhere.
Oh,
and
no.
I kind of threw this guy in the back of my wife's head. So and then she just went, oh, bloody hell. Oh, I was like, you're right. She was like, yeah. And then I basically just tried to defend her. Like, I did do a good job defending her. I just
you
couldn't.
threw a man at your wife and then tried to defend her.
Yeah, you defended her from yourself.
I did defend her quite well. I just didn't expect the bodies going above, left and right and behind. We're all good, but yeah, going on top, different story. So
sounds like
that was my wild home news. Had a bit of a feeling young moment, and yeah, that was just kind of it, really. So there you go. And I assume you guys had a pretty tame home news.
Very tame, actually. Yeah,
I did have my sister's hen party, which was pretty cool.
Oh, you went to a hen do
with Kate. Yeah. So because Hamish was in London the same day as my sister's hen do, so I couldn't go and say hi.
Yeah.
But it was good. Had a good fun time. Did karaoke at the end. I love karaoke. Oh my god, it was so good. Ate a lot of fried chicken.
It's
karaoke.
Yeah, all right, that's better. I felt like you just said
karaoke.
You just said karaoke or something. I don't know.
Karaoke. I just said it very fast. Karaoke. Karaoke. I love karaoke.
Yeah.
Karaoke. It was good. I had a very good time. But I mean, my main thing this weekend, as in 2 days ago, was playing Flesh and Blood and having a grand old time.
We're all Flesh and Blood,
which we all did.
Yeah.
Me and Hamish played on Saturday, and Simon played on Sunday. We all did a classic Road to Nationals. Could we repeat the famed triple win Road to Nationals?
Icelander Road to Nationals.
God, I don't want to say what year it was. Spoiler:
2 years ago.
That did not happen 2 years ago. But we all had a good. Well, we'll talk through it. I don't know what order do you want to do. I don't know if we should save the best for last or front load the best or not.
Okay. So, well, we'll start from lowest to highest. So Simon.
That's harsh. It is technically true, but only just because I didn't do that well either. But it is technically true. So Simon, why don't you go?
Yeah. How do you pay out?
I mean, this was only the second time I've opened packs for Hunted, and I went for a draft.
Right.
So
as they say, you're a raw dog in it.
Yeah, raw dog in it big time.
Yeah.
To be honest, I felt like I drafted the right seat. I had a Fang, and then so there was a Syndra, then a Fang, then an Arachne, and then me. And I drafted Syndra. I felt like I had decent ninja cards. The guy to my left also drafted Syndra. So on pack 2, I got absolutely shafted.
All right.
But I still had a decent deck with reds and 8 blues. I enjoyed the games. I just didn't play that well. The guys who played against me played very well. So I played 2 games. I had a bye. I went 0-1, 1-1, 1-2, and then had to leave because it was top 8. It was one draft and top 8, all or nothing.
Yeah,
I gotta say, I feel like
that was a bit rough.
The top 8. I'm not a big fan of the one draft. I know that is the correct way of doing it when you have with people, but man, the one draft cut to top 8 feels so rough.
You know what was really good though? It felt like it was full of locals, 16 locals, pretty much. There was a really good crowd there. Had some really good chats with everyone, and it's just nice to see the game flourishing. Like this set has got a lot of people excited. I know I've got a chance with CC coming up it's going to be an absolutely stacked event at Living Realms this Saturday coming up. But I really enjoyed it. Like the draft for this set feels fun. I feel like I could have played any of the 3 classes really.
So I suppose really when you think about it though, There was 2 pods there was basically 2 draft pods, yeah. And the top 4 of each one gets put in the top.
If you go 2-1 or better, you're through. Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's a nice clean cut.
It is
a nice.
Clean
it's a real. Yeah, it's a good way to get your qual because you only actually need to win 4 games, right? Oh well, you only need to win 3 games.
3 games, yeah.
To get a qual for Nats, which is actually.
But it's an expensive way to do it because it's more expensive than a CC event.
Yeah,
I just like limited, as we've said. Like it's a real fun thing.
Yeah,
I like the experience.
Sure. Yeah. What about
How'd you do, Trip?
Yeah.
So I went to Spellbound Games in Elephant and Castle near London Bridge for their first ever Road to Nationals. They're a relatively new store. They had the Pro Quest, their first Pro Quest, and this was their first Road to Nationals, which was really good. I think it was 43, definitely over 40 people there, which is really cool. The game is really flourishing, which is nice in London at the moment. It feels like when we had a store Rule Zero close, but it feels like a lot of stores have stepped up to fill and almost doing better than before. I think people have seen what can happen if you don't support it can fall away, and now people seem to be going quite hard. So really, really nice under the train arch venue, classic style, good space, had a really good time. So I took Ira Crimson. No, she's not called that anymore. Ira Scarlet Revenger.
Scarlett.
I have no idea what her is actually called. Scarlett Jo Ira Hansen. Give me my +1 every turn. It was really good. I enjoyed the games. I won my first game against Syndra. I was very happy with my match into Syndra, so that boded well. And I lost to a Vinset, which was fun. I do actually really enjoy playing into Vinset because I feel like every time I play Vinset, it's just valuable life experience. Because I feel like Vinset is so there now that and up until now, very few people have been playing her, and I've actually been lucky in the sense that I've played against Vinset quite a few times at classic constructed tournaments. When there's been like one Vinset in the field, I always seem to get paired up against Vinset. And I think this is the first time I've ever lost to a Vinset. And it's just night and day, the difference that deck can do compared to what people were trying to do with it when she first came out.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. So big fan of that. Also a lot of skill testing decisions that I did not pass those tests. But the cards are really interesting, just like thinking about essentially, like most of the cards have sort of like if you lose life on hit, so it's kind of like it has an on hit, but the rune chants are also on hits for the purpose of that effect, which is really interesting. So I had a really good game, which I lost, and then I lost 2 on the trot to a Zen, to steal for Finbar Zen, which was a very good game, which I definitely felt like I was winning, and then I got Zenned at the end with that all you got draw into an ancestral harmony, which drew a breed anger. It drew, which banished a breed anger off the top, and then suddenly I was just like, okay, I'm dead, which was a shame because I think I had it otherwise. And then I played into a Dorinthia, who did the most insane Dorinthia turn I think I've ever seen. It was great. Double steel blade supremacy. Into Dawnblade with a count with 2 counters on already. So it was coming in for 9. So I whole hand blocked, and then they hit me with a twinning. So they sort of comboed me because they did like 30 more than 30 damage in one turn, because it was like no, it was more because it would be like 9, 10 or something crazy like that with similar attack rations. Anyway, I then played against a Dash IO, and I won that game. And then Dyson said that he wanted to go to the pub, so I dropped the last game and I went to the pub with Dyson. I thought I'd finish on a win rather than go into the 6th round. But it was a great tournament. They also did a draft for anyone who dropped after round 4, which I thought was really cool.
That's really cool.
Which I would have done that if I wanted to make sure I 100% got my 5 rated games in for nationals. I'm going to more RTNs, but I thought, I get hit by a car or something. I've definitely got my 5 rated
Get
games.
hit by a
I
car,
won't die,
I'll
but I might
die.
not be able to go to the other ones.
Yeah,
but
but
at least
you won't be
I've
going
got
to
my 5 rated.
nationals because you're dead.
I might get better, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
dying. I was like, what if I like get hit by a car? I'm hurt enough that I can't go to the next 2 rated nationals I want to go to, but I still might be able to go to anyway. I thought I'd just get the 5 games in.
Yeah,
They were there.
yeah.
Otherwise, we would have done the draft, which would be fun. Great store. Very nice to us. Happy with the IO deck. Even with the 3 losses, 2 of them I felt like, okay, Dems the breaks. Really like the matchup into Syndra, which I think is probably one of the more important matches to get right.
Mm-hmm.
Good matchup. Okay matchup into Vincent. Definitely needs some work. But I'm happy with how the deck's performing. I like how toolboxy it is at the moment. You just have like a 54 card main deck, and then you put the 6 cards that you think are really good against the opponent's hero. Yeah, it's just a fun way to play.
Did you play quick? Did you play quick dodge flexes in the end?
Yeah, it was great against Syndra. It's a little bit more awkward than you think. I stupidly put it in against Dash IO, which was dumb. So I was like, this will be great because they're going to hit me multiple times, and then they just throw T-Bone at you turn 1. And I was like, well, I have quick dodge, 2 blade break, and 3 blade break equipment. So I was like, I guess I pay 1 to block with this quick dodge.
No, you don't need to pay 1, do you?
I paid the 1 because you don't have to, but it was coming in for 2 anyway. So I was like, I'll just. So it was turn 1. So they were doing like they basically just T-Bone set up a whatever. I don't know what they set up. I think it was a Cerebellum processor. But I was
you
like,
can just block for it for 0 for free, right?
Yeah, but I had cards in hand, right? So I might as well pay and not take damage. But it was like, I got 2 block out of this.
No, but you could just.
Again.
All right, I don't know what happened.
It made sense.
I believe it made sense.
Because it was essentially that you have to block with something. So I could have blocked for 0 and not paid the 1 and taken 2 damage, or I could have just
blocked with
pitched
that card in hand.
You could have blocked with equipment and a card.
Yeah, but I had the card to pay, so I kept the card. Guys, you weren't there. You didn't see my hand. I had a plan. I won that game. So screw you guys.
Look, I'm just saying
it made sense. It made sense.
Right, Hamish.
Trips like,
tell us about your day,
Hamish. Trips sitting there going, "Don't you ever say it was misplay. Never tell me it was a misplay."
I made a lot of misplays during that tournament, so I'm very rusty.
And that was not
one of them.
Okay.
That was not one of them. I didn't block you'd kill me, Hamish. I didn't fully block a red Morph Skies, and I live to regret it. Yeah. It was I was like, I had to choose between giving up my flick knives or and I decided to not give up my flick knives.
Give up the flick knives or lose.
I regret immensely not giving up my flick knives. But that's what I say about Vincent.
Anyone that says no blocks to a red Moravian Skies, most of the time equals you've probably just lost the game.
They deserve it.
I wanted to get a coffee. It's fine.
Moravian coffee. Right. Let's talk about.
But yeah, it was fun. We'll go to Hamish though. Hamish. How was your
Tell us the story. Start from
where was it? Firstly, where? Tell us about the store.
Okay, so I went to Dice Cup in Nottingham. It was a very small event because they also had a Magic pre-release on, so they capped it at 16 players. I was a bit shocked that it sold out, so I didn't buy a ticket, and then I kind of messaged and said, "Look, I'm going to head down just in case no one shows up." And then they said, "You can sign up. We just don't have enough hunted packs. So do you mind not getting a hunted participation pack for entering?" And I went, "No, I don't really care. It's fine. I just want to play." So I got signed up, and I think another person also jumped in as well. They were just being conscious on space. So yeah. Anyway, it was a 5-rounder, so I was happy. I was just going to play that through. Probably feeling really rusty because I don't think I played since the ProQuest season at all. So round 1, Enigma against Chris Chalk. It was a bit of a weird one. Some of the patrons have seen this, but a bit of a wild story. By turn 5 or 6, he used his gloves to completely block out a Vexin Malice, and then from the rest of the turns, because he's playing CYB, so multiple turns later, we both just totally forgot he's got AB. So he was just pitching away. And I was like, oh yeah, off we go. And then when we got right near to the end, I just was pretty much on the last 4 cards, and I went, I can't kill you. You're on like 20-something health. And then I was like, GG your game. And then Mikey pointed out, he went, don't want to sort of interrupt the game. How were you pitching for AB? And then he went, oh God, I've been cheating. I'm really sorry. You win. So I was like, and I felt really bad because I feel like I've just sort of gypped him out of the game a little bit because I didn't, but
I don't know how. I don't think you did.
No, I didn't. No, but I've already said you win. So when we just find out, actually, I should have won. It was the right move for him, and he did say, "Look, I'm really sorry. I wasn't. I didn't. He wasn't cheating at all. It was just both of us.
I've seen it happen multiple
loads
times.
of times. Dash breaks Achilles.
Especially with Dash.
And
always with Dash.
You just kind of, I don't know. You just played games where you just went, of course you block it. I just didn't twig. And it was round 1. I haven't played in months, so I didn't twig. He didn't twig, so he just went, "Look, I'm really sorry." And I said, "No, all good. I feel bad that we both feel really silly." Do you know what I mean? That we just haven't sort of clocked this. We didn't need to call a judge. He just said, "Look, I can see you win the game. Thank you." Right. So move on. Round 2, Sammy Braben. I was like, all right, this is a tough one. He brings Dory. I was like, are you all right?
Who hurt you?
Yeah, what happened? Is Kano that bad? I was pretty sure Kano's better than Dory. No, it's not. Dorinthia, I think I got it. Well, it didn't work out too well. And I will premise this. All my games, I high rolled everyone, okay? And when I play Sonata and I pitch 2, I get 2 cards. And that happened every goddamn game. And maybe not every, like the bad ones was where I got 1. And I was like, well, that's all I was aiming for anyway. I never missed a Sonata at all. So every one of my games was just cooking on gas. So yeah, he got his Dawn counter to 2, and then I just did 30 damage to him with a Mordred Tide and all this, Malefic. It's the standard Malefic Incantations, Mordred Tide, kablammy blam blow, in a bit. And then round 3 was Zen. I feel real. I tell you what, I'm really sorry because I'm so tired. Names are just flying at me. I think it's James. He's from Nottingham, Simon. You knew him.
James Clark.
Yeah, James Clark. That's it.
Yeah.
Sam. He plays Zen. He's got glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. He plays Zen, and I think I got a bit lucky on that one as well. He was just doing some good tempo turns. He managed to get 100 wins for 7, so 100 wins. And he what's the card? The one
Ancestral Harmony.
Ancestral Harmony.
Yeah. Blue 100 wins. Blue 100 wins. Red 100 wins. I was a bit like, oh, this is a bit naughty. So I'm gonna block this up with my Face Purgatory. He discards his tiger. I was like, of course you do. But I needed to draw something because I've got Rattlebones, Revel, Rattlebones, and I've got Room Flash in Arsenal. And I draw Sonata. I was like, oh. Okay, cool. Blocks up, ends his turn. I go, right, I'm just going to play this Sonata for 0. I need something, and I need a blue. And I get a blue. So 1 arcane, get the blue, Rattlebones, bam, Revel. Okay, yeah. It was just like that moment I won. And then he didn't really get to sort of he didn't manage to chi until like turn 5. So by the time he did, it was not the best Zen State token moment, but he couldn't get going. So I beat him on that one. I felt like I got, luck was on my side on that one. And then round 4 was against Darren Hazelden against a tempo-based Enigma. So it's not CYB. He's just going to throw some big old attacks on me. And that's exactly the sort of game I want to see because you're not going to outrace the mad stuff I'm doing. So yeah, that was on Baz the Bards. He was there recording. So round 4, you get to check that out if you want to see Viserai plays Malefic Incantation and Mordred Tide and see what happens. And yeah, so I won that one. And then round 5, it was against Noah. It was a Viserai mirror. And I went, I'm not playing this. I've done plenty of Viserai mirrors to know that this is miserable. So I just said, I'm the only 4-0. I'll concede so I can just go do something else a bit more.
Get a break.
Get lunch. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, lunch was at round 2, so I'll just have a minute. And then I got into the top 8, and then it is a Viceroy mirror. And
that was against Kane, was it?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah. And that's suddenly twigs. I don't have any AB in my list. I forgot. I literally took it out because I just thought, well, who needs Vexing Malice? And I went, oh yeah, you do need AB sometimes. But then I thought, well, if you're pitching to AB, you've lost the game anyway. So
just full red line, just go.
I just went. I don't have any AB. So I mean, every time I play Vex and Quillhand into the mirror, the only time you AB is at the start, because if they're doing some rune chants, just try and make sure you don't take any
Otherwise,
damage.
you want to just try and make more rune chants than they make.
But any Viceroy that's throwing their damage at you turn 0 is not the right move. You set up rune chants, you pass over to them. But I'm first seed, so I'm going first. So I don't have to worry about this at all. So I just set up and go, I've got Grasp of the Art now. I've got loads more iron than him. He picks Tunic and Vex and Quillhand, Face Purgatory and Creepers. I'm like, I've got a bit more beefier than you. I just went for the A for Ironweave and Grasp and thought, oh, we'll send it. And then he was pitching. So he was just trying to control the. I basically didn't have too much of a dud hand throughout the game, and if I did, it was set up turn hands. And then but he was doing a lot of pitching, and I just got there in the end, and I was like, oh, thank God. And then round semi-finals was Noah, so the round 5 has returned, and that one was really tough. Although I will tell this, I did kind of psych Noah out a bit, but I don't feel bad because he made the correct play. But I did psych him out a little bit. But I don't think I actually did him any favors. All I did, because Noah is a gentleman, very low, very very awesome guy, but he goes into the tank sometimes. But I think that's just Kano players. They've been trained to go into the tank. So he did go into the tank, but I went into the tank a little bit because I had a bit of a weird hand. Got Become the Art Knight. I've got a Sonata. So what's my play? Figuring it out, and then he was doing a little bit of tapping on the table, and to me, I was like, "Yeah, you stop doing that." I'm trying to think, but I didn't tell him that. So yeah, just I'll let you have your taparoo. You keep tapping away, mate. So then I make my play. And then I basically Sonata, get a card, play Become the Art Knight, get a Revel. And then I go, okay, yellow Rune Rager Swarm. And then this is when he went deep into the tank. Because I've got Revel and Amplify the Art Knight red in my hand. If he has to basically go down the call of, if I face Purgatory you, if you have a yellow or blue, I just I blow him out because I'll just creep as the Revel. But if I don't, okay, I can't use this Revel because I've got no A for Ironweave and blah blah blah. And then as he went to go for the face Purgatory play, which was the correct play, I went, are you sure? And he went, oh. And then I went, I have got a Creepers. Just get this.
You're playing the mind games.
Playing a little bit of
mind gamed him.
And then after about 5 minutes, he went, I'm doing the face Purgatory. And I went, okay, are you sure? He went, yeah. I went, right. Trigger face Purgatory? Yeah. And I put my hand on the Creepers and I went, no, I can't do Creepers. And he discard and then I just attack. But then I won it. And then I won it in the end. He did his big turn. I think that turn lasted like 4 turns. And then my turn was, I've got 2 Sonatas. You've just popped your Vex and Quillhand and you're on 3 life. So Sonata for 0, 1 Arcane. And he went, and I picked up a blue and he went, I think you've literally just won on the spot then. Because I was playing the other Sonata, get a Rune Chant, pitch Grass, make the second Rune Chant, bam, win. Cool. And then final was Mario. And I just went, oh, I've never played against this hero, so time to put in some defense reactions and ninth blades and read the runes, and yeah, it worked out really well. And then I actually come to realize, I was like, oh, like this is nowhere near as scary as New, because New is just like, oh, give me your hand, oh, let me have a look at all your cards. You're not having that one. You're not having that one. And this one is like, oh, if I hit you, you banish a card. And I go, do you pick? And he goes, no. I go, oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. I don't care. This is just basically pummel. It's the same thing. What? I don't care. I pick the card I don't care about. Wow. Only coming
What was the...
You can curate your hand a little bit, can't
you? What's the Mario win con? Like, what is their game plan, essentially? Because I mean, I'd like to hear from people who play it, because I don't really understand what are they just trying to outvalue you? Like, I just don't, I don't know what's the end result, like, because you've got your I guess you can get set up with daggers. Well, I guess I just don't really know what you're trying to do. Like,
well, that game lasted. But that game lasted like 5 turns, because he flipped into 3 different forms, and it was and he trapdoored the first one, to which I was like, oh no, I've got Malefic Incantation with Read the Runes.
Yeah, it's just like, have fun with your trap.
Yeah, because
while I just do 2 non-attacks.
I just went, I'll make rune chant. It's your turn. And he went, I said, can that be anything? And he went, yeah. And I said, can you play that on your turn? He was like, yeah. And I went, oh, okay. If this is an actual attack, then fair enough. But then he didn't play it. So I was like, oh, I basically did the right move.
Well, it can't be an attack. It has to be a trap.
It's a trap, right? It
has to be a
trap.
So
you're just like, yeah. So you're just like, okay, I just want to attack that turn.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, not all heroes can do that. But like in this, you're just like, that's, to be honest, for this, that's probably the best one. Right?
I saw it and went, well, that's
set up turn. I'll just wait a bit then.
Yeah, but it was, So basically, a lot of people have said like trapdoors are a really good one to kind of get in early. And I was like, yeah. Apart from when you play against this, because it just goes.
It's just giving you a free block, right? So,
I made rune chant. So yeah. Anyway, then he flipped into the Arsenal banishing one, to which I went. Well, I just went Arsenal. So that hero, it was blank, and then he went into Tarantula. But by that time, I was doing a fair bit of blocking up and I kind of got I had this mad turn where I had 3 Malefic Incantations. I'm on like 7 or 8 rune chants built up, and I had a Mordred Tide, a Revel, a Runic Reclamation. Oh no, was it Runic Reclamation? It's basically the next to gets +3. Mordred Tide, that card, Red Rune Ranger Swarm. I've got a Tunic up and I got a Vex in Malice, and he goes Prognosis for 5, and I thought, and I immediately just went, so what does this do? And he goes, oh, if I hit, I flip the top card, whatever the color is, I look at your hand and I banish a card of the same color. And I went, all right. Well, I've got 14 blues, good couple of yellows. If you flip a red, you take the Mordred Tide, but my turn's not over. But if you hit anything else, I'm going to destroy you. So I just went, oh, I've been playing Sonata high roll, let's just go. Right, no blocks, hit me for 5, I don't care. And he flips a blue, and I go, right, here you go. You can take my blue Vex in Malice. He went, okay. All right, I heal 2, and I go, I'm on 22 and you're on 26. Yeah, so I've got Reaping Blow, so you're not healing. He went, oh, right, cool. So I just take 5, and then I took the 5 first because I was above.
Were you at the 5.
And then I went,
the next level, you were like, oh, I'm going to play around the heal.
No,
you were like, oh, I've got this matchup. So
he did actually. I was on like, I was on 27. So he was on 26. And then he has to deal the damage and then do the react. And then because it was just this weird thing. He went, oh, I didn't.
It's cool though.
I was like, I didn't consider that.
Tech.
Yeah,
because the heal is relevant. Like,
yeah. And I was a little bit like, I think, well, yeah, Brucey bonus, I guess. And then I proceeded to Mordred Tide, and then that was 30 damage that turn. And then it turns out...
Without a blue?
He only has 8 in his deck, apparently. So, turns out this is his nightmare, because he literally just has all reds most of the time.
No one runs blues anymore, man.
No, I meant without Hamish's blue because he had it destroyed.
Oh, I see. Well,
didn't need it. Completely unnecessary. I just went Module Tide, Runic Reclamation, Rune Ranger Swarm for 6 with because I've already Module Tide and I played that, so that was coming in for a 9, then a 6 go again, Tunic, and then it was 3 Malefic Incantations, 2, 4, 6, 8. Well, it could have been more. I don't know. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. And then I just
finished him.
Yeah, it was just done then. And then I won.
Hey!
And then I got.
Well done.
What did you win, Hamish? What did you win?
Show us what you won.
I'll
describe it for the Spotify listeners.
Yeah. So
it's a gold foil.
It's a gold foil. I got the gold foil. Time Skippers.
Yeah, pretty cool cards.
Nice.
A little bit of action point.
Yeah.
Played card at one point.
So that was long. Sorry, everyone. I didn't mean to sort of
no
too long.
Do you know what though? I enjoyed the passion with which you told us about how you beat everyone down.
Well, I just high rolled the crap out of everyone, and I got lucky round 1.
So, and do you know what? You put it out there. You put it out there about your win on Viz, and it may well be the last weekend that Viz is in action, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the count is.
I think he might get one more, but I think it's going to be his last tournament.
Yeah, this is his last season for sure.
And you put it out there. You put a nice post on Twitter, and you got a message from the main man himself.
Yeah, I did. It was lovely.
Oh, Jimmy W. Yeah.
Yeah, I think all the
because you have been repping this since the very beginning.
Beginning. Yeah.
He was the hero that got me into the game when we all jumped in and crew back in 2020.
He was the first. The first time I played you online, Hamish, you were playing Viz.
Yeah.
And we were doing a UK-based league tournament.
Oh, yeah.
And it was me, Katsu, versus you, Viz.
That was jokes, man. How did I...
That was crazy.
That was jokes. Why would anyone take Viscerai without, like, any good stuff? Imagine, there's no...
Well, we only had 8 heroes.
Yeah, I know. But he was jokes on that point. But yeah, it was really cool. And it was really nice to... Like, the golfer was sweet. Playing the game throughout the tournament was cool. But the biggest thing was, like, I just wanted to, I just wanted to first off get signed up to make sure I can get to the nationals, and then you're kind of like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I could just give one more send off to my favorite hero?
Yeah,
and it was just cool. That was my favorite bit. Come back, super happy to do that happened, and yeah, that was it. Now there's been some other stuff going on over the weekend as well.
Has been a little bit.
I think I want to keep it on the talk of while we're talking about get the positives and all the games and stuff. So Barcelona kicked off. There's Jacob Clements again, forever getting into a semi-final with no, and just somehow just not making it over to the final. But it's awesome. Our patron Jacob Clements, who's currently
he's doing really well
in the EU World. The player of the year?
The World Tour, player tour.
Was he number 3? Number 3
He's really high.
Yeah, he's number 3 in like the player of the year, but he's number 1 in the EU region right now. This guy's just going on a mad tear, which is awesome. So seeing Jacob up there was really cool. But the biggest thing that really caught my eye was Arthur Trehay's Verdance deck. I was just like, what's going on? Like, you hear Syndra and Viscerai and what's going on with Zen and this and aggro. Verdance is just showing up and you're like, what on earth are you doing here? Like, how is this your time? And I don't know. I can't wrap my head of what sort of time is this. And then Margin Bay goes to bloody
it's the 2 win.
Those wins are battle hardened on it.
It's the win and the second place, right? Really lends a lot of credence to it, not just being a one-off.
Yeah. It's not just like I just snuck in, got something, no one saw it coming. But it could be, right? It could definitely still well be the hero that just no one saw coming, no one's teched or prepared for. But if you did, you could probably deal with it easily.
I think a lot of people.
It's another wizard, right? It's another like Kano turning up and running the board. I'm not saying they.
Well, it's like
in no way am I saying they don't deserve to win, but they've picked a nice time to do it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it plays into that kind of. I didn't watch the games, so forgive me if I don't know the exact deck list, but the way I think of Verdansk is it's playing into that model of attack actions and arcane damage that we saw with like the Bull Lander deck originally. Slightly. And as a hero, it's quite interesting to see LSS lean into that playstyle in terms of like having the Earth Wizard with the access to really strong disruptive Earth. Like Earth has a surprisingly this really solid disruption, which I never really expected Earth to have with Felling and the Arsenal one, which is really interesting. And I think that's kind of cool to have as a tool against the aggro decks alongside the kind of arcane and burst potential. And I think a lot of people are not playing into like and not putting the AB in. And that's always great, but I think I still don't think you win a tournament like that. I think people always say like, oh, if people put AB in, then Kano loses, and that is true. But I still think there's got to be something to the deck if you're still taking it to the win or second place. It's not just people didn't bring AB along. So like, I think it's really cool. I think I do think there's I think a lot of people have jumped on the Syndra bandwagon after
rightly so.
Well, it is, but I still think that deck is not as good as. Well, what do I mean? It is definitely good, but it's very. You can definitely tech against it, and tech against it in a way that's not too disruptive to your list. Like it's not sad to run disruption.
Do we think it's another case of aggro coming out the blocks hot? Like they've gone full red line. There's no doubt they are just playing.
It plays a very
Fi almost, isn't it?
It plays a very. It's a very obvious line. It's very.
But is it?
It's not unpredictable, and I think that once you get used to what they're going to be doing to you, it's kind of like okay, I can do a lot to work around this and to play around it. I mean, I haven't played enough into it, but I find that it's very strong, but it's not like Zen oppressive. You know what I mean?
I don't. So this is my point.
Zen aggro is like insane.
I find it very much in the lines of Fi in a way, where it's actually decent small hands and still good large hands, and I think that's probably where it's keeping its consistency up, because when you see that it loses, like you think Nu and Arachne assassins should eat this up for dinner, and then they go, okay, well, yeah, you're gonna do your hits, but I even though I've only got 2-3 card hands, it just doesn't stop. It's just consistency of damage doesn't stop, like in the days of Fi, and I think that's what's got it going for it. And I think
it never misses, right?
No,
you never draw a bad hand. Like that's the thing. You never draw a bad hand. You can, but you never. I still don't think you draw like. There are a couple of insane hands and insane turns you can do, but I still don't think it draws that insane a hand. And I think it's very much like, okay, you're gonna do like 12 to 15 damage to me a turn, and I can play it. If I can disrupt you, then I'm gonna essentially eat up a lot of that damage. And
I think the disruption has to be quite correct. And I think really one of the big heroes that can deal with it probably or quite well is the likes of someone like Victor. But Victor's got that, he's kind of getting away with it because Victor is in that spot where you go, like, I could target you, but I've got to dodge this. And Syndra doesn't really have to dodge anything. And I think that's why she's getting this.
Yeah, she doesn't have to dodge anything. Yeah, that's true.
She just has to she can kind of show up and just play into almost anything and do okay. But yeah, I'm just trying to think on.
She is like Fi. She's
quite Fi-like.
Yeah.
And I think it's the sort of hero that
she's draconic hero, right? So
if Jarl was better, you just feel like Ice would just dismantle this deck.
It won Christchurch.
Yeah, it did.
And then Jarl winning the Battle Harden Barcelona. So we've got Syndra winning Christchurch, kind of not shocking. And then Verdant's winning Battle Harden, I can't remember, Portland. That was that was like, whoa. And then Jarl winning Barcelona was like, whoa, okay.
Battle Hardened, right?
Yeah, Battle Hardened. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So kind of a very cool, interesting start of the RTN season. And then just while we were talking, like you're saying, Trip, about Verdant's deck, hopefully, if we don't sound too ridiculous, you may have seen the Arthur Trahey deck already, which is should be out now. If it isn't, then it should be hopefully out soon. But me and Arthur hooked up.
Have you recorded it yet?
No, that's happening. So this is recording on a Monday. We're hopefully recording it on a Tuesday. Hopefully releasing it on Wednesday. Yeah. And then this comes out later. So we'll see.
It could happen.
It could happen. It could happen.
I'll put my thumbnail in.
Okay.
No.
I think we'll end this on the...
I think it. Oh, we're almost at time. I was just going to say, I'm really excited by Fab. I think that I had a really good time at the RTN. I really am enjoying how the classic constructed meta is taking a little bit longer to work out than maybe in previous seasons.
We should do a what's hot, what not. This was the perfect what's
we
hot,
should,
what not, but we're not.
Because I think you've got heroes like Mario and Syndra, even like re-emerging heroes like I am seeing a surprising amount of Dory around, which is quite interesting. And just people trying to make Jarl work and people trying to make Verdance work. There seems to be a lot of people recognizing that heroes like Zen and Viserai are going to go out of the meta. And I think it's kind of given people a bit of a desire to try stuff out. And Vincent as well. It makes for a really exciting meta. And I think that's really fun.
Yeah.
And I had a really good time just seeing all the different heroes. A lot of new still, but like new definitely. I think the Count Your Blessings ban was a good ban. I think they seem to have actually nailed it. So credit to LSS for hitting that card really well, because it's still there, but it's definitely not as all like people are still playing Count Your Blessings decks, but it's not as impressive. And that shows the sign of a good ban, as opposed to like Bonds, which turned out to just not be enough.
Talking about bannings.
No. Before I want to keep this on. I want to keep this on the high because for some wild reason, I have no idea why we haven't brought this up, and I think it's just kind of slipped through the net a little bit. The new set,
High Seas.
It's all pirate themes. That's all we know.
No, we don't know that. We just know it's called the High Seas.
Bro, there's a pirate ship in the video.
It's going to be about pirates.
I'm just saying, we don't know.
We do know. We do definitely know, because they've actually put it in the Taipei descriptions. You could are you a sea captain or a swashbuckling thingy or a stowaway from the thing? They're literally talking pirates. They're saying it's pirate. It's all piratey. Bro,
I'm just playing devil's advocate, mate. It's so funny to watch.
I don't think it will be
all I'm saying is it's the Necromancer set, right?
It's not the Necromancer set. Right. That's gonna be afterwards.
I think we can all agree there's not going to be a pirate class.
No,
it's going to be pirate themed rangers. It's going to be pirate themed.
But that's like
warrior.
That's you look at this late set, the Hunted. And you look at Fang and you don't go, oh, it's just there's not going to be a samurai. It's like, no, of course there's not. It's just a warrior that looks like a samurai or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just saying people are talking about whether it's going to be a talent or a class, but I don't think it will be. I think
it will be Ranger, Brute, and Guardian.
Interesting.
Because I think
how would that limited set work? Wouldn't Ranger just get punked?
with great difficulty?
Yeah, just don't pick Ranger and get punked.
Yeah, maybe a completely different kind of Ranger. Maybe a firearm Ranger.
I don't know, but it's I agree.
Path of Exile style with a crossbow that repeats.
I agree. I do not see I don't see talents in this. I see talentless pirate themed heroes, but I could not call the classes apart from
No, I know what you mean.
I probably would put my money on Ranger being in this set.
Ranger has. I mean,
literally one of the cards is a pirate on it. So
the sunken treasure, the coat of sunken treasure.
Yeah, and their what's it? The quiver, which is the one that basically is you put 3 arrows back in your deck. And it just looks, the deep
abyssal thing.
Yeah, that's literally piratey looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many piratey looking stuff going on for
Shelter from the storm.
Yeah,
nip at the heels.
Yeah,
crab people.
Right.
Anyway.
All right. Do we want to talk about it before we finish?
Yeah.
Well, we're not. The internet says that content creators don't talk about the Brody slow play pummel scandal. So if we are true content creators, we shouldn't talk about it. But fortunately, we're pushing point.
So I don't think we need to talk about.
We'll do our normal run through, which is so Hamish. What do you think about the Brody slow play pummel trigger?
No. Take it back a step, right? Because none of us saw. None of us saw
only got
the
like
actual
2 minutes.
event.
No, I want snap judgments.
None of us saw the event. None of us saw what happened. None of us know.
I don't want considered opinions.
I want speculations. I want
speculation.
Drama.
Judge people
that we do
you've
have,
never talked to.
Has there been a murder? I heard that Brody.
The facts that we do have are Brody's statement.
I heard they're not even. I don't think they're even.
I heard he bribed the judges with ham sandwiches before he then punched the guy in the face with a ham sandwich, and then sent James White in the mail a ham sandwich saying "Get wrecked." Which is why he got suspended.
Thanks, everybody, for listening to Push the Point. It's been a great episode. We'll call it there. That's our take. Feel free to snip that up and add it to the hot takes.
Simon, go on. Obviously, if it did happen...
That's a liability. James White sends you one message and you go off the wall.
Yeah, I didn't message him saying, thanks for creating the Viscerai hero. By the way, what happened to Brody?
Sandwich.
Can I just say we've been messing up our pummel triggers in the United Kingdom since first UK national.
Brody shows up.
Suddenly an American does it, and everyone loses their minds. We've done it twice.
Yeah, I know.
At 2 different
tournaments,
and it's like,
and everybody loses their mind.
Anyway,
I'm more cross that Brody got more bloody attention about UK pummel. Like you said, we've done it twice, and everyone, no one cares.
The first one, barely anyone talked about. Well, actually, no, that's
talking about pummel. No one cares about pummel.
Simon's going to pummel us in a minute.
I will.
David Dyson literally said, if we talk about this on the podcast, please tell everyone that he was the first person to get UK pummeled.
Well done.
And he was. And he said to me it was his fault for not.
Just stop talking.
So right. There you go. Case
closed. What I thought was interesting is Brody put out a statement and he didn't really apologize for anything. He just said, I thought this was within the rules, and it is within the rules.
Yeah.
And I've been min-maxing my play to fit within.
He basically said I went to bed
to fit within the rules.
Yeah, if I fit within the rules and my opponent does as well, I can go to bed easy at night. I'm like, yeah, that's fair enough. If you weren't famous.
But he did make the point that isn't what the community expects of him, and he wants to try and live up to that within the community, right? So I thought it was an interesting statement. It didn't really apologise for anything. It just said, I can try and do a bit better. He did say that he's never slow played on purpose.
No.
But he has been warned a number of times for slow play, and LSS seem to have either planned this or reacted to this and banned, suspended for 2 months.
Okay, so I think that everything he said was fair. I don't believe that he deliberately slow played. I don't believe this. He deliberately slow played to make his opponent forget some stuff. Right? I think he just is a long thinker. Some people are just a bit of a long thinker. Simon, you're a bit of a long thinker.
I'm a bit of a long thinker.
You can be a bit long at times, but that's fair enough. And I believe that's true. And I think about him saying, look, I need to really consider what I sort of provide and represent in this community. It's just a sign of actually going, yeah, this is like, I wouldn't want to go walking around being unsportsmanlike and being a bit of a dick about things, because I really, I care about my channel a bit as well, and
you care about the community.
I do care about the community. I care about the voice that you bring to it, and Brody's a massive voice for this game. Right? They put him on a card. He's on an advert at this point. This isn't just small fry stuff. He's literally the poster boy of Flesh and Blood.
Do you think he has a responsibility to the game now?
Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't want to, then fine. I think LSS would have to turn around and be like, "That's fair enough. If you don't want to be that person, then we're gonna have they really are gonna want to lean into the people that are going to bring joy and something to the people's champion within the game. So he doesn't have to. He can carry on playing, but I wouldn't be surprised if LSS just stop making him the story so much now, and just go, well done, Brody. Anyway, well, blah, blah, blah. But he does, and it does matter because the internet can be quite cruel. And I thought the internet was a little bit cruel, to be honest.
Yeah.
Massively unnecessary about a lot of stuff.
He's still a young guy, right?
Yeah. Here now, weirdly enough, his banning. Sorry, Trip. Go on. Is there any?
I think the internet was very cruel. I don't think the young. I never get too. I don't really like the young guy excuse. I mean,
it's fair.
I think that he is literally a teenager. That is.
He is, but I think that if you let me just say my bit and then you can respond. But I think that if you engage in the tournament scene and you want to be a professional player, you have to hold yourself to the same standard that everybody else does, irrespective of your age.
Agreed.
And I don't think you can. I don't like it when people use that and I also, just to be clear, I don't think he's ever used that as an excuse, and fair play to him.
No,
I don't think he'd want to, because he's trying to say I'm just as good as anybody who plays this game. In fact, he wants to say that I'm better than anyone that plays this game, irrespective of his age. And I think if you want to put yourself in that scene, you can't use age as an excuse. I don't think he ever has, but I think people defend him a lot by saying he's just a kid. It's like, well, yeah, if he wants to be a kid, he can be a kid and he doesn't have to engage in this quite grown-up world of professional. This is a crazy sentence to say. Grown-up world of professional trading card game, but that is the reality of what it is. But you can,
my counterpoint to that a little bit is that I'm not saying that he should just be like, no, he's done something wrong. I'm like, no, we pointed it out. He's got a rollicking. He basically just faced reality of what the world's like, and it's just you did something wrong. Someone older than you is telling you wind your neck in or whatever it is. Blah, blah,
wind
blah.
your neck in, fling your hook. No.
But it didn't need to be so
about his age.
But it didn't need to be. It didn't matter how old he is. It didn't need to be this cruel.
My point about his age wasn't about how he acts or how he responds to this. It was more about the fact that actually the internet is bloody cruel, and as an 18-year-old, you might not be as well equipped to deal with that attention as someone who's a bit more haggard and a bit more like worldly wise.
What are you talking about me for?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I know. I am talking about you.
I think that he
does play the game as well as anyone twice his age, and you're right. I think if you're gonna involve yourself in these events and be the poster boy for LSS, then you need to hold yourself accountable. I don't think that's related to age.
He got a hard lesson, and I think he got a right. I think the response of some things was valid. People should have a right to be annoyed about things, and Brody, you really should have probably considered your sportsmanlike actions a bit more, considering we're not all in the same spot. So I think he got a good hard lesson, and it's fair enough. There's getting suspended for 2 months. I'm a little bit. That opens up another door of he's the first person to be suspended for 2 months for a rules infraction
of slow
play, and it is a little bit like, what the hell does that mean? Because he is not the only person that slow plays in this game at all. He's the most famous person we know who does it, but he's nowhere near.
Yeah.
He's almost like if you say it enough, you think he's the best slow player and the best player. He's the best at whatever. But man, I've seen some guys just take forever. What does that mean that he's been rules infraction? Does every slow player now have to suddenly go, could I get suspended?
I think the answer to that is yes. And I think that in a professional tournament, if you are essentially written up for something, it does sort of go against your record. And that if you repeat offend, I think LSS is saying, look, we are keeping an eye on this sort of thing and we do track this. And if you go to multiple tournaments and you commit the same infraction over and over and over again, we reserve the right to suspend you, which I think is which is fair. It's basically LSS saying, look, I can't think of an equivalent thing, but like if you made the same game mistake in a tournament over and over and over again in isolation at a one tournament, that would be fine. But if you keep doing it, then LSS is saying, okay, we're just gonna give you a little punishment for this. I mean,
they do keep the judges do keep track of verbal warnings and like cautions and things like that. So it's reasonable to assume that they've decided that this is the threshold.
Yeah,
and I think people, I do think, I think that this is probably a fair outcome. I think that when you are put on a like the way the world works is we love to pull people off pedestals and we love to see people fall. Like that's part of humanity, is like people like to see the person at the top fall. And I think a lot of the internet response was like quite vindictive and very cruel and kind of and I think people get very passionate about cheating, which is right. You should be passionate about cheating, but there's also there's definitely an element there of like, this person was seen as a good person and now we've proved that they're a bad person. And I think he's not a bad person.
No,
like we don't know. Like I always have faith that people are good people. We do not know this guy. I am sure he's a very nice person. He might not be a nice person, but I think
Hamish has spoken to him.
I've spent time with this guy, and I've seen some right bellends in my time, and this guy is absolutely he's not one of them. He is genuine, he's lovely. I literally just saw him, and then he has no reason to be so welcome and be like, oh, Hamish, man, it's so good to see you, bring it in. And he just knows I'm a hugger, so he just goes, bam. I'm like, it's just so much normalness to this guy. He just loves playing, he loves hanging out with people. He's as normal as they come. It's I honestly, Mikey told me this right. Everyone that's screaming and moaning about how bad people are probably people that have just got nothing else going on great in their life, and they're just taking it out on this poor kid. All they're going to do is go to their armories and just get cross at everyone in there. It's everyone who actually just goes and sees the world is just like, this is.
Do you know what?
Whatever.
If it doesn't affect you personally, it's okay not to have an opinion on it, right? Yeah. Like you can just carry on with life, and we don't have to get riled up about it because it doesn't affect you as a person. Anyway, let's finish up. Let's wrap it up.
It'd be interesting to hear from people if you have a take on it, because I do think there's. I think on any podcast we always make it sound much simpler than it actually is, and like I recognize that if you've had someone who's like sharked you or cheated you and that resulted in you like missing out on a top 8 or missing out on a top 4 and not, that is going to give you a lot of negative emotions that then you're going to want to channel into something. And I'd be interested to hear from people if that's where they're coming from. But at the same time, I think
that's not really an excuse for it either, though.
No,
I'd be interested to.
Where did the ham sandwich touch you before you tweeted?
Exactly. I kind of want a ham sandwich now.
So do I. So
maybe I'll go make
Brody,
one. We got some ham in the fridge.
Send me some in the mail, right?
We all got sent ham sandwiches as a bribe to be really positive about Brody on Push the Point.
We've been very positive about everything today.
We have,
guys, if you come to Push the Point for like negativity and like controversy, you're not listening to the right podcast. We're just pretty chill guys to be.
You're probably never going to see 3 dudes that are literally very empathetic and think the best of people and genuinely don't care because all we want to do is have a beer. Right.
And have a nice chat. Yeah. And do well at Fab and have fun times. But thank you for listening.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you.